Joining me now with more, Steve Hayes, senior writer at the Weekly Standard and a Fox News contributor, and Guy Benson, co-author of End of Discussion and a Fox News contributor. Great to see you both. So, Steve, the gloves are off. They are. And it takes a lot to get the ire of Levin and Limbaugh, but Trump has managed it here.
Yeah, I think this is potentially a very interesting turn. I mean, you've wondered all along when people like Mark Levin and Rush Limbaugh would turn on Donald Trump. I mean, Donald Trump has not, as we've discussed before, has not been a lifelong conservative, certainly not a part of the conservative movement. And he's made a series of errors and gaffes and offensive statements, misstatements that haven't won the ire of both Levin and Limbaugh. But this, the attack on Ted Cruz, seems to have done that. And I think that could really mark a turning point. If Levin and Limbaugh and other conservative talk radio types turn on Donald Trump right now in favor of Ted Cruz because they think Trump has gone too far, that really could signal to others who have supported Donald Trump that this is sort of the end of it. Now it's time to get behind a real conservative as Republicans make this push for the White House.
Because this happens, Guy, as Cruz is surging. His support for Cruz under the Real Clear Politics Iowa average is up by 13.5 points in the last month. Support for him in the latest Des Moines Register poll is up 21 points since mid-October. Trump's support, according to that Des Moines Register poll, has peaked. And so it's happening at an important time in the race.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is what Donald Trump does. When he feels threatened by someone, he goes on the attack. And what's been interesting to see is how he's gone after Ted Cruz. First, it was on temperament, calling Cruz a maniac, which is so very special and rich. But on policy, Trump rarely gets into policy, especially when it comes to these salvos. But he tried to go after Cruz on ethanol subsidies, criticizing Cruz for a very principled conservative stand that Cruz has taken. And this goes to a pattern of behavior from Donald Trump that we see. He attacks conservatives from the left routinely. He did it to Scott Walker when Walker was still in the race, using left-wing talking points on the budget. Just this week, he came after and joined the left-wing pile-on on Justice Scalia at the Supreme Court.
Another thing
and now
that
this with
ticked off
Ted
Levin.
Cruz. Of course, this should raise red flags for someone like Rush Limbaugh.
And the thing is, Steve, all along we've been watching the bromance between Trump and Cruz, thinking, okay, that's smart of Cruz. You know, you don't want Donald Trump to come after you if you're one of these Republican candidates because he's vicious and he's relentless, right? But there was risk for Donald Trump, too, as it turns out.
Yeah, I think there's huge risk for Donald Trump. Look, the conventional wisdom in Washington right now is nobody takes on Donald Trump and emerges unscathed, and people point to Lindsey Graham and Rand Paul and others. Those are candidates who are at 3 and 4 or 1 and 2% in the polls. We haven't seen somebody really frontally challenge Donald Trump in the way that I think is open for Ted Cruz to do from the right, as Guy suggests. We haven't seen that yet, so this could be new. It would be most interesting to see tomorrow night when Donald Trump attacks Ted Cruz, which he's virtually certain to do. How does Ted Cruz respond? Does he try to stay above the fray? Does he try to be above it all, sort of laugh off Donald Trump? Or does he engage? And I think there are risks either way. If he doesn't engage, it looks odd because Ted Cruz is attacking Marco Rubio. If he does engage, then that's sort of, then there's the end of their non-aggression pact.
The end of the bromance. Great to see you guys.